how it started, how it's going. Oh, good evening, everybody. I have got a sorry mess in front of me today. Um, this is a US Robotics Courier, a V92 model Courier. The last model they actually made. They just discontinued a few years ago. I bought this on eBay. The picture looked beautiful. I received it like this. The US Postal Service absolutely freaking slaughtered this thing. That's been my word to use for it. I don't... How? I know how. The guy packed it in a bubble envelope. But even still, even if it was in a bubble envelope, what the hell did the Postal Service do to this thing? I don't know! I have never seen anything like this! Like, what the hell? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so today, I figured, actually, it wasn't my idea, it was Ava's idea. I believe she's here tonight, or at least she was. It was her idea. She said, hey, that would make good stream material. And I was like, hey, that's a great idea. So that's what I decided that we were going to do tonight. I thought it'd be a fun little thing to do. And I bought some Permatex plastic welder. We'll see how it looks. Someone said what cameras I'm using tonight. Yeah, do you guys like this camera setup? I've just got my USB webcam pointing at me, and then I've got the DV cam camcorder on a tripod above me. Thought it would give a good combination of viewing angles for you guys. Yes, somebody already mentioned it, but I was going to mention it anyway. The glowing elephant in the room behind me there. I bought a blacklight poster. I don't know why I'm looking over here. The camera's here now. I bought a blacklight poster, and it is just the coolest thing. I am just... Oh, I paid a little more than I would have liked. I think I paid like 20 or 25 bucks for that. Really high quality, printed on really thick cardstock. It's flocked, which means it's got a felt texture to it. I don't know what the purpose of that is on a poster, but it has it. And honestly, your guys' view of it behind me here doesn't make as much, it doesn't do as much justice for how beautiful it looks. It's got yellows, blues, purples, pinks, oranges. And I am lighting it with my 1950s desk lamp that I still have to make a video of up there. It's got a single F15T8 blacklight bulb in it. And even if I had that ceiling light there turned on, it still visibly glows with the blacklight pointed at it. So it's really beautiful. Let me go ahead here. I'm just... I actually forgot to do this. I was just gonna grab the picture from my phone here, so you guys can see see what it looks like through a good photograph of it. Which state did the modem come from? It was shipped from North Carolina. Pardon me here, I'm just getting a photograph of the poster ready. There you go. How How beautiful is that? I've always wanted a blacklight poster, but the vast, vast, vast majority of them uh, have imagery of drug use, narcotics, and that's just not my thing. And that's okay. The original purpose of these gosh darn things was to, you know, you put a bunch of them in a room and, sorry, I'm trying to get this out of the way here. You put a bunch of them in a room, get high as balls, and then just trip out looking at them. Um, but then I saw this geometric masterpiece, and I love art that's made of geometry. And I was just immediately in love with it. So, super happy with that. Way better than that boring ass painting that was behind there before that came with the apartment. Do, 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 do. So yeah, YouTube servers are being a little touchy tonight, so if the stream starts stuttering, let me know and I can lower the bitrate a little more. Oh yeah, the other reason probably that this image looks better is that since the last time I streamed from this desk, I've changed the bulb in my overhead light here. It used to have a warm white bulb in it. I put a 5000K bulb in it that has twice as good color rendering and twice as good color. So, oh yeah, I see YouTube servers are playing games with me already. Alright. Hold on, I'm lowering the bitrate. We started at 5, I lowered it to 3.5, now I'm lowering it to 2.5, so damn, oh well. Who made the modem? It's a US Robotics Courier V. Everything. It's the 56K version. It's the model 3453B. It's actually the second to last Courier modem. The last one was the 3453C, and I don't know what the difference is between them. But US Robotics discontinued the 3453C in like 20, like just a couple of years ago. And now they make a modem called the Courier Lite, which is supposed to be the replacement to this. It's this. It's just a Sportster. They took this modem, put a new label on it that says Courier Lite, and now they're trying to pass it off as a replacement for this, when it's absolutely not. The Courier Lite doesn't even support basic Courier functionality, like leased line support and synchronous support, let alone the V. Everything, which the Courier Lite also doesn't have. It's literally this very Sportster rebranded. And yes, I need to make a video of this guy too. Oh, you've never seen a blacklight poster? Yeah, they're cool. They're friggin' cool. But like I said, lots of imagery of, um, not imagery of drug use, but imagery of tripping on drugs, mushrooms, and stuff dripping, and lots of colors and sparkles, and a lot of them have sexual imagery in them. Really cool, beautiful works of art. Just not my style. They were mostly popular in the 60s and 70s, but um, there's still a lot being made today. They might be having a comeback, I don't know. There's one very young woman, she's like 21 or something, who has a job. She's a blacklight artist. She makes and sells blacklight posters, and her art style is very much like what was common in the 60s and 70s, which is very cool. Very young lady. Yeah, Spencer's. I went into Spencer's once when I was a kid, and it was pretty cool. You know, they were still selling the fluorescent black lights and all sorts of cool party lights and stuff. Of course, now it's all LED crap, right? This lamp takes 2 bulbs. I've only got one in it right now. I'll have to maybe buy a second blacklight bulb. See how much brighter it makes the poster. The poster, I like how bright it is right here. It's pretty darn good. Like, hold on. I'm just gonna power it off here. There, that's with the light off. Pretty neat, eh? And it doesn't light up the wall around it. Because it's just ultraviolet light, right? So, uh, have you ever tried booting Linux off a USB hard drive? Yes, I've done that many times before. Yeah, the Sportsters are nice. They're little. They're super tiny. But the Couriers are just way better modems. Way more powerful, customizable. So, what on earth do we got here? Well, there's the faceplate broke off. And we've got small bits of plastic broke off. Every screw post snapped. Like, what the hell happened to this thing? There's the top cover. Bunch of pieces broken off that. Here's the PCB. The PCB looks fine, I think. I think this is pretty... I think this is probably unharmed electronically. I imagine if I put power to this thing, it'll work just fine. Well, you know what? We might as well do that. No sense spending time on this if it's dead electronically, right? Let's put power to this thing. I'll zoom you out a little bit. Oh. Oh. Okay, that behaved much more weirdly than my v.34 v.everything does. The LEDs got really dim, and then the relay clicked. Is that normal for one of these to boot up? It must be, because it's doing the right thing now. I ought to, let me see if it'll go off hook when I... Okay, so if I... Okay, so this thing is probably fine. There's a look at the inside of a Courier, huh? Pretty neat. Now I know why the speakers in the Couriers are so much better than the speakers in the Sportster. They actually use a different speaker. It's a little bit bigger. Although the dial tone this thing just belted out was not nearly as loud as what my other Courier does. It says, oh, what's the date on this? 1805. 2005 was when this thing was made. Courier v.everything 56K, and it is V92, or at least it should be. Date on the ROM chip is 2004. Of course, one of the things that made the Couriers better than the Sportsters was because they're enormous in comparison, everything's much more spread out. And so you have much less risk of there being issues due to heat. Because, of course, a modem is an analog device, right? It heat can change how everything operates. So it's really important that nothing gets too hot. It's not purely an analog device, but it does a lot of analog things, tone generation and stuff like that. So we got the PCB, and then the bottom case. Broken screw post, broken screw post. Christ almighty. Honest to goodness, I don't know what on earth they could have done to this. Somebody said, what software do you use for the DV cam? I'm just using the Sony Vegas video capture program to get this thing on the screen, and then in OBS I'm just doing a window capture. What's wrong with the modem? USPS destroyed it. It came like this. Bits and pieces broken off, and it's terrible. Yeah, I'm not nearly as smart as EEV Blog. I cannot point at this thing and tell you what things do. Well, I can tell you there's two relays right here, one for going on and off hook, and one for connecting and disconnecting the telephone jack. There's a bridge rectifier, because AC, low voltage AC, comes in here, and then it's rectified here. And I think that little guy might be a voltage regulator. And then you got a big fat filter capacitor. Oh, and it's branded 3Com, by the way, which is odd because this was made in 2005. By then, I believe US Robotics had spun off as its own company once again. But it says copyright 1999. 1999 was when 3Com did own US Robotics. So this modem, well, I mean, or at least this PCB might have been in production since then. Kind of interesting, though. Okay, we're missing a rubber foot. I only got this thing with 3 rubber feet. Unless I missed one in the wonderful packing material here. Here's what protected this thing. Oh, I still see another piece of plastic in there. I'm not going to bother. As long as this thing can go back in roughly one piece, and it works and everything, I'll be happy. It'll certainly give it character. You'll probably, no matter how good of a job I do tonight, you'll be able to tell that terrible things happened to this modem. Oh, here's a little pink elephant that Dumbo reference. Here's a little thing that I always expected people to ask me about, but they haven't as of yet, and that is, why the hell do I pronounce modem like that with a pronounced E? And I don't say it consistently either, which probably just makes me look like a asshole. But the reason is because up until my university course, my digital communications course that I took in university, where we did a lot of talking about modems, I never talked about modems. And my professor in that course, that's how he pronounces it, modem. Super old school guy, he must be close to, he must be in his 70s now. Wonderful professor, he taught me in a few classes. Dr. Richard Turvo. I think he's still there at UMB. One of my favorite professors I ever had. wonderful job. Uh, all of his courses I took, I just always, I soaked everything in like a sponge, where a lot of other people struggled, whereas normally I was usually the one that struggled. But his courses, I don't know, they just, I took them in like a sponge. But anyway, that was the course where we had to learn how to compress and decompress microcom network protocol and v.42 bis by hand, which I learned how to do and got really darn good at. That was a really cool course. And I wasn't even a modem jerk, a modem freak then. I just freaking loved the theory and the applications. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's fine, Ava. I love dominoes. I've only ever had them 2 or 3 times. It was with my ex, and we'd stay in the hotel and order Domino's, and we'd get the New York style, or whatever they call it, with the really thin crust and is super greasy. Oh, I love that. I wish we had a Domino's here, but the nearest one is there in Bangor, Maine, 2 hours away. I can't get this screw out of here, if you're wondering what the heck I'm sitting here fumbling trying to do. Yeah, today was the first day that fully vaccinated Americans um, could come to Canada, and hundreds of cars came across the border just to this town today. It was it was crazy and a little scary, because I can't help but wonder how many of those Americans fake. Really? That's the same number that called me before. They freaking woke me up during my nap. I'm not answering. I'm gonna block the number now. Screw you, that startled me. Some number, they don't leave a message. My answering machine's probably picking it up right now. Yep, just hung up. Alright, you know what? If they're not gonna leave a message, I'm gonna block your number. Because I'm gonna assume you're a telemarketer or something. I'll do it later. A Domino's in St. John? No! Oh my god, there's a Domino's Pizza on McAllister Drive in St. John. I didn't know that. Still an hour and a half away, but... Oh. Oh, I wonder if the Domino's here in Canada is like the Domino's in the US. Because I love the Domino's in the US. But yeah, I can't help but wonder how many of those hundreds of Americans that came here today faked their vaccination records. Maybe I'm being bigoted by assuming that a significant number of them did. I don't know. But it scares me. Especially because I went in Canadian Tire today to buy this stuff, and not a single damn soul was wearing a mask. I was the only one in there wearing a mask. I'm not going to be responsible for anybody getting sick. Screw that. I don't care if I look like an idiot. I'm wearing my damn mask. Cases are surging here. I'm never going to get this screw out. I can't focus because I'm focusing all my energy on being mad. That just broke right apart. I'll probably have to just glue this case together because I don't think I'm gonna get screws back in. I think we're way past that point. Oh man. Yeah, Quebec's being smart. They've done a lot of smart things throughout this pandemic. Someone out west told me that it's super bad there. Of course, it always is. Western Canada is pretty much our own mini US. And then little old New Brunswick, we've been doing so good. We had a whole like 8-day span where there were no new COVID cases. And now we're getting like a couple of dozen a day. And this weekend will mark 2 weeks since the restrictions dropped. And I think now that that 2-week incubation period is upon us, that we're going to have crazy case numbers. So, I'm trying to think of an attack plan for this thing. And this goes like that. Back a little. There. So this, well, doesn't really want to sit there for some reason, but it goes like that. And I've got to get this. I've got to start by, I'm just going to put this over here. I've got to start by getting this back on this. And there's a piece of plastic right there that I also have to deal with. So I'm just wondering. Of course, the more I fumble with this thing, the more the adhesive on this is going to quit being effective. So if I put this here, where's this go? Where did this come from? I don't see it on here. Is there a broken piece on the bottom part? Oh yeah, I have made several more attempts. Oops, pardon me kicking the camera. I've made several more attempts to get to that ANSI. I've dialed in at as slow as 2400 baud, and I'm still, oh, there's where it goes. And I'm still, I still haven't been able to get through it. So that goes right. No. How does this go? I was so excited to get a V92 Courier. Oh, there's how it goes. Because now I've got a V92 Courier and a V92 Sportster, I can experiment with how to V92 modems from the same manufacturer. What they sound like handshaking and stuff. Alright, I better read this thing first. Set time, 5 minutes. Bonds to ABS, acrylic, fiberglass, PVC, plastic, vinyl, metal, glass, wood. Why is it called plastic weld if you can use it on wood, metal, and glass? Just call it everything weld. Better choice than super glues. I didn't want to use super glue because, in my experience, super glue causes a lot of plastic to, like, turn white and gross looking. A structural adhesive designed for bonding. A structural adhesive, sorry, I'm groggy from my nap apparently. Designed for bonding of a wide variety of materials, including hard and semi-flexible plastics. Resist weather, high humidity, temperature variations, can be drilled, machined, filed, painted, resist water, gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and most other chemicals. Sets in 5 minutes, cures in 4 hours. Dries beige, ooh, how fitting. Resists most shop fluids. Permanent strength to 3,500 psi. Directions. Roughen smooth surfaces using an abrasive or sandpaper. Surfaces must be clean, dry, and free of grease and oil. Remove plastic mixing paddle from center of black plunger. Turn nozzle end up and snap off storage cap. Save cap. Pull plunger back 3 millimeters. Allow air bubbles to rise to top. When ready, push plunger evenly to dispense equal amounts of hardener and resin onto a discardable surface, a piece of cardboard, or the plastic container on the front of this package. Pull back plunger to stop flow. Mix thoroughly with paddle provided. Apply to surfaces to be joined or repaired. Adhesive starts to set in 5 minutes and reaches usable strength in 4 hours. Wipe nozzle clean. Replace cap for storage. Not recommended for use on polyethylene or polypropylene plastics. Polyethylene is the stuff that drinking bottles are made out of. Polypropylene is the stuff that the caps of drinking bottles are made of. So I can only guess that this is made out of something different. ABS, if I had to guess. So in other words, it's just like the JB Weld. Squirt it, stir it, put it on. Now, is that a smooth surface? It kind of is. So maybe I should get an emery board and roughen that up. Excusez-moi. Now, that fits like that. Hey, Ariana. This piece of plastic just doesn't seem to, like, I can obviously see how it's supposed to go, but it also just doesn't fit quite right. But I guess I got no gosh darn choice but to just do it. Otherwise, we're just sitting here getting nothing done. Oh, by the way, seller did give me my money back for this. I just sent him a short message. I'm like, hey, it came. It's absolutely destroyed. Here's a photograph. Can I have my money back? And he immediately gave me my money back. So, thanks to him. Turn nozzle end up and slap off, snap off storage cap. Get out of there. Oh, damn. That's way worse than a worthless modem. Oh, that sucks. This is the first time I've ever had something come damaged in transit from eBay. Never had this happen before. Okay, there's not an equal amount of each part coming out. Oh my goodness, the smell. Whoa! That. Oh my eyes. Oh my everything. Whoa. Okay, turning fan on. Shit. I gotta open the window. That is the most repulsive smell. Ugh. Come on, window. Ugh. Right, lock. Looks like I'm gonna die in here, guys. Oh my god, the smell. Ugh. Okay, my window is just not gonna open. Ugh. Apparently the summer heat has made it unopenable. It's okay. Guess I'll die. Ah, yes. 50-year-old wooden frame windows that your landlord won't replace. So I did not get an equal amount of each part in here. So I'm just gonna go for it. My god, I don't smell it anymore, probably thanks to the fan beside me. Oh my god, I thought I was gonna pass right out. And now I've got it on my finger. Oh yeah, hold on, Ariana. I'll show you. I'll show you and any other newcomers the photograph of the blacklight poster I got in the mail today. Just let me. I need some front lighting. Oh, it keeps it in place pretty well. That's pretty swell. It's tacky enough that it keeps it right in place. And it sets in 5 minutes. So I'm just going to make absolutely sure I've got this where I want it. I think I do. I think that's about as good as we're going to get. With my skills, anyway. I don't know if you'd call it an epoxy. It says structural adhesive. The two parts are both clear, so it's certainly not like JB Weld or anything. There is the blacklight poster that I bought on Amazon. Super happy with it. That's lit up with a F15T8 blacklight bulb. I've always wanted a blacklight poster. I'd almost like to have a whole room lined with them. But most blacklight posters have imagery of like drug, you know, getting high and stuff, which isn't my jam. But then I saw this geometric masterpiece on Amazon, and I absolutely love it. I love art made with geometry. And yeah, honestly, I could literally just I could literally just turn around and just admire it. It's beautiful. It's so nice. And then the lamp lighting it up is right there. That's a 1950s floating arm desk lamp. Takes two F15T8 fluorescent lamps. I just have the one F15T8 blacklight bulb in it. Might as well show you guys. I'm just waiting for this thing to cure. Let me bring up some. I'll just show you guys what kind of things that were popular as blacklight posters back in the day. So we do have more types of patterns like that. That's really beautiful. But then a lot of times you had these sort of really dystopian, druggy type deals. And a popular theme was mushrooms. You know, shrooms were popular to get high off of while looking at these things. They're absolutely beautiful from an artistic standpoint. These are all really wonderful works of art. Look, you've got a high praying mantis there. Beautiful purely from an art perspective. It's just not my thing. Not something I'd want to display in my apartment, right? And of course, symbols of peace. There's one. And this is one you can buy, so it might be a modern design. These might all be modern. Then you've got stuff like that. Just really, really trippy. A lot of imagery to do with drugs. There's a blunt and there's a bong, and because that was the purpose of these things. You lined a room with them. You lit up the room with blacklight, and you smoked up and enjoyed yourself. This is a cool one. Now if I put vintage in here, that's really cool. They're just really... Oh, I love that. That's really cool. 1967, Roberta Bell. I think that's beautiful. It's all about, you know, incorporating the fluorescent colors, right? So, there you go. So, how are we doing on this thing? It's already dried to the point where it's, it kind of feels like, here, I'll use my stick as a control here. It's like mostly dry hot glue now. Shouldn't have done that. Only use in a well-ventilated area. Keep away from flames, or any object that sparks. Do not breathe fumes. Wear gloves. That's a good idea. We're going in. This'll only hurt a little bit. Man, these gloves are cheap. You put them on and they rip just from the force of putting them on. Do the job, though. How's my, okay, that stuff's hard. That stuff's not. Okay. Yeah, the 1A2 system's not even hooked up right now. It's got, it's still plugged in, but there's only one phone hooked into it, so intercom's not very useful. Okay. Right, so this faceplate I've got to reinforce. So I'll do that. Put this guy over here. Maybe, yeah, probably best to turn this upside down. Now we'll get sand in the sticky adhesive. Now, how much dirt's on the inside of this red lens? I don't know. Oh, is the stream choking? Yes, it is. Okay, we're down to 2 megabits per second. We started at 5. Yeah. Should have put my hair in a ponytail for this. Oops, I never put the cat back on this stuff. Oopsie. Alright, that's good. Now, let me just put this cat back on. Fan's blowing my hair in my face. Oh, come on, get off there. Not sure if that's enough, but we'll have no choice but to find out. Yeah, but the part that's actually broken isn't the lens with the printing on it, it's the actual structural plastic, so very little, if any, of the adhesive is actually touching it, so it should be okay. But you are correct. Wow! Ha! I just realized the protective film was never taken off of this. Maybe we'll celebrate by pulling that off once we hopefully get this thing back together. I am not sure if I put enough stuff on there. I guess it'll have to work. Oh yeah, I think we're okay. Alright, we're coming together. She's starting to look like a courier again. Once that dries, it'll be putting the two halves together. I'll have to put some of that adhesive on the screw posts. I'm not going to try and screw this thing back together. Maybe I'll even hot glue the two halves together. Oh yay, you ordered your Grandstream ATA. Wonderful. I think in the future I'm going to be ordering a second one because I think I'm going to get a third phone line because somebody called the fax line the other day and they discovered and made me discover a flaw in the current configuration of the fax line. I turned echo suppression off because that allows modems to work better. But that means now when you talk on the line with your voice, you hear yourself echo back, and it's extremely disorienting. And this guy, actually is the guy who sold me the Northstar Compact ICS, he left a message, and he's like, wow, it's hard to talk with this echo. And I'm like, dang, That's the echo suppression I turned off. Now, the 2100 hertz answer tone of a modem is supposed to turn off echo suppression on a telephone line. That 2100 hertz tone tells the telephone exchange to disable the echo suppressors. But that's invalid on a VoIP line, at least with these Grand Stream ATAs. They don't respond to the 2100 hertz answer tone, so you've got to disable echo suppression manually. The plastic wouldn't melt with hot glue. If I have to repair it in the future, well, hot glue is very easy. You can literally peel it off once you get it started. I gotta say, this thing's, from afar, this doesn't look like anything's happened to it. It looks like it's got a couple of scratches on it, and that's it. Get a sticker off. There. Took the sticker off it there. So, this being the very last Courier, or the second to last iteration of the very last Courier, they actually got rid of the Courier name. It just says US Robotics, US Robotics. And then in the corner there says 56 kilobit per second technology. So they actually got rid of the Courier name on the outside, and for marketing purposes it wasn't called the Courier, it was just called the US Robotics 3453 business modem. But the PCB still says Courier v.everything 56K. It's just like how this does not say Sportster anywhere on it, but it is a Sportster, 100%. Right, so my third line would be just for modeming. I'd have my personal line, and then my second line for the fax and message line, because faxing works fine even with echo suppression enabled. And then the third line would be to play with modems. Oh, this place is a mess lately. Well, lately being the last couple of days. Had a lot of projects going on. This place is a lot tidier than it used to be. At least in some places. The motivation you can get when you get a girlfriend again. Sportster? That was just the name they come up with. The first Sportster was 1200 baud in like the late 80s, I think. And just the name they came up with. I guess, you know, the word Sportster could put like performance on the mind. Sports, performing. So maybe it was sort of trying to invoke that feeling. I think they're both great names. Courier's a great name too, because a courier is, you know, in the old-timey sense, a courier was a person who brought messages back and forth, and couriers were known to be very reliable and very fast, and that's exactly what the Courier modem is, right? Alright, let's I would say that's adequately dry. So, let's bring in our PCB and our bottom case there. Our bottom case has a piece which has also been drying. Let's see if we can get it in there and get this thing back together without breaking anything. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put it in top side first. So we'll put the PCB in the top side so I can slide that data voice button in there without putting any stress on anything. It's like a horseshoe crab. There. She fits. Nothing broke off. It's not together, but it fits. It's fitting together. Now I just got to find a way to keep it together. And I would say hot glue will be the way to go. I don't see anything wrong with, well, there's a lot of area to do. I guess if I could just go spot, 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 I can get it back together before the hot glue dries. Let me think. Oh, you know what? One last thing I want to do is take a picture of the circuit board. Because this is my one chance. This is my one chance to get a good look at the inside of a Courier. And I better take a photograph so you guys can get a good chance when I make the video of this thing. There. Alright. Do I go with hot glue? Or do I go with another method? I think I'll go with the hot glue. I think the hot glue ought to work. Now, where do I put the hot glue? I guess right along the sides here. Actually, I could use the plastic weld. The plastic weld would give me a few more minutes to position it correctly, whereas the hot glue, you gotta be fast, right? And the plastic weld, this is great. This is way nicer than JB weld. Not nearly as messy, and it seems to be holding just fine. You know, I haven't had any parts break off again. It seems pretty darn stout. I'll use the plastic weld. I'll just do a few dabs in the corners or whatever, and hey Andrew, and I'll put it together that way. So what surface? Okay, so this goes on the inside of that. So I'm just gonna the Chinese eBay? Nope, never tried it. I don't know if I'd ever dare either. So this modem is getting a name. I don't know what that name's going to be yet, but it's going to be forever known by some sort of name that reflects how absolutely killed this thing was, and then brought back to life. I don't know if I'll call it the slaughtered courier. That might be a good choice. I'm kind of liking the name Slaughtered. V Westlife had a good pun, the V dot nothing. Crack party. Phoenix, Lazarus? I'm afraid I don't get those references. I'm not a woman of culture. Voldemort. Broke Black Betty. uh, I'm not one for names. I'm usually just for, like, adjectives. Alright. Put a glob right there. Glob right there. Come on. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh, get your hand right full of it, asshole. Good job. Oh, God, the other hand. Ah! Everything's going wrong. I'm sorry if I scared anyone with my yelling. Dreamers. Oh, God, I'm getting that smell again. Woo! Yeah, I'll go wash my hands in a sec here. Just from the smell alone, I'm getting the impression that it's quite volatile. Well, there, that's looking pretty good. Pardon me for a second. All right. Well, that looks like a pretty darn complete U.S. Robotics V92 Courier. Ooh, ooh. Is it peel time? I think it's peel time. Alright, hold on. Let me get a corner started here. My Sportster was the same way. It still had the plastic on it too. Ready? Ready? Hold on, let me get a good angle here. Oh, that is not meant to come off. Oh, yes it is. You left a bunch of weird adhesive. Oh, yeah. Wow, that did not come off gracefully. And it left gunk. Maybe that wasn't supposed to come off. Now there's like weird crap. I should have left it on. It works. It looks worse now. I've just realized that the voice data button is offset. Is this thing straight? Oh, everything's... Oh, no. Everything's, like, pushed back a little. Crap. What happened? Why is it out of alignment? I guess the screws keep the circuit board in place. Let me see if I can, see if I can grab something and pull the circuit board back, because it's falling out of place here. Nope, that is not working. Oh, jumping. Well, I don't understand why it, the voice data button's all kittywampus. Am I gonna have to break this thing apart? Oh no, it just fell back into place. Okay, so clearly it's not being held together on the inside very well. Where did the screws go? I wonder if I can... I wonder if the screws will happen to hold if I make an attempt to put them in. I'm going to call that a negatory. Oh, I'm going to say it's probably fine. So, let's power it on again. Okay. They changed the faceplate on the newer Couriers versus like my old V-Dot everything. There's a red lens that's slightly opaque, gives sort of a foggy effect to the LEDs. But my V-Dot everything doesn't have that. Oh, where my V-Dot everything is. Where is my V-Dot everything? Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. So, you can see it's almost black, the LED lens, versus the newer one where the lens is quite red in color. Okay. I want to make these things call each other. Which means, by these things, I mean these two modems, since they're both V92 modems. Oh yeah, I gotta put a rubber foot on this thing. It's missing a rubber foot. I've got a pack of rubber feet somewhere. I think they're in my toolbox. Let me go check. Okay, I don't know where my pack of rubber feet went. Surprisingly, something has gone missing. Gee, I can't imagine. Oh, here they are. Rubber feet. These are crappy dollar store rubber feet. But if they do the job, that job being make this thing not wibbly wobbly. It'll work. Alright, let's bring out a computer and hook this thing up. Run the old ATI commands. See what she identifies as. And then we'll test it on some calls. Yeah, it's a 9-volt AC adapter. I'll adjust the camera here so you can get a look at it, at the screen here. Let's see. Ah! Forgot that I can zoom on this thing. I could get out my VGA to S-video converter and give you guys a S-video hookup, but I won't. I'm actually considering getting a PCI or PCI Express serial card for the main computer here. I'm actually seriously considering it and just keeping one of these modems hooked up to it. especially once I get my North Star system fully running, then I can use this computer to just like dial into other stuff in this apartment. That would be pretty cool. Alright. Just gonna hook up the modem here. This desk is quite the disaster right now. Maybe I will use a USB to serial adapter. I don't know if I can trust one, but maybe it's worth looking into. Alright, modem is wired into the laptop. Turning the modem on. Running Bananacom. And let's do an AT. And we've got an OK. Alright. Let's do an ATI3. US Robotics Courier v.everything ext. Okay. So in the firmware it identifies as a courier anyway. Even if it doesn't on the product itself. Now let's learn this thing's secrets. What did it do in its past life? Well, actually, what did the dip switches say? I haven't even looked at the dip switches. Let's see what this thing did in its past life. DTR normal, verbal result codes, display result codes, echo offline commands, suppress auto answer, normal carrier detect, display all result codes, enable the AT command set. Oh, it's bone stock. This thing didn't have any weird settings set like my Sportster did. Let's see, no stored phone numbers. Okay. Okay. So the listed modulation options: HST, V.32 bis, V.32 turbo, V.fast class, V.34 plus, V.90, and V.92. Class 1 and Class 2 fax, 25 megahertz CPU, 1 mega, I don't know if that's byte or bit, of flash ROM, 256K of RAM. Supervisor date 2004, DSP date 2003, and there might be upgraded firmware on US Robotics website that I can download for this thing. Maybe I can upgrade it to whatever differences are between the 3453B and the 3453C. Maybe going from whatever was different between the B model and the C model, maybe US Robotics added that for free in a later firmware update. Okay, let me plug this into the telephone line. The manufacture date on the modem itself is 2005. And we will dial Kluge, because he's also running a 3453. I think his is the original 3453, the V90 model. So I just gotta look up the number for Kluge BBS. Sysop of Kluge follows me on Twitter now, so I follow him on Twitter as well. Alright. Actually, I'm just going to run, just to make sure this is bone stock, I'm going to run an AT at F1. And then I'm going to, or AT and F1, and then I'm going to run an AT and W. And now I'm going to do ATDT 312654090. Turn the volume up before I start dialing. Wow, there's a lot of hissing sound in this thing. In the speaker. Wow, that speaker is actually kind of pathetic compared to the older Courier. We only connected at 14.4K. Of course, we're on a VoIP connection, right? Let me dial the RSX network. Because I am able to get a V92 handshake on that one. So let me find a number for the RSX network. Which, by the way, has like 20 BBSs that we could dial into that I haven't done yet. So maybe there will be another live stream where I dial into all the BBSs offered by the RSX network. The RSX network is a guy who has a bunch of Telnet BBSs linked to a bank of modems. So people with modems can dial into BBSs that are normally only available by Telnet. So it's very nice. Alright. I can't get this friggin' website to work. You ever call the NRC via modem? No, I haven't done that yet. Bear with me here, I'm just pulling up a phone number. Four 15231-1260. Hello? Why don't we have a ring? We have no ringing. Yep, it does, well, it should do Bell 103. Huh, didn't even get a ring signal. Ooh, I was dialing the RSX network a bunch last night. I wonder if I got my number blocked. Uh-oh! Let's try another one. 346-385-5665. I wish I could show you guys what the modem's doing, but I only have 2 cameras here. There's a ring. Did I get my number blocked? Oh no! Oh no! This is terrible! Let me try the first number again. That one always works. That's really confusing. Oh, okay. That's a V92 handshake. A very bad V92 handshake. No. It's not going to do it. Okay, let's call the NRC. Now, when the NRC answers, is it actually going to be 300 baud or is it going to connect at like 2400? 613-952-7729. Okay. We got 1200. But it's not liking it. So I bet... Oh, you know what happened? And it just hung up. So here's what happened, and this is really the only place where these modems lack Bell 103 compatibility. These things do perfect Bell 103 modulation, but the thing is, if you call a number and a 300 baud modem answers, the 300 baud modem issues the 2225 hertz Bell answer tone, which is the higher pitched answer tone, and that answer tone is used for 300, 1200, and 2400 baud. So what just happened was the NRC picked up its 300 baud modem, made the Bell answer tone, and then this modem's like, ooh, okay, 1200 baud, when it's not. The modem doesn't try to, well, it's not even try. There's really no provision. There's no way for, if a 1200 or 2400 baud modem calls a 300 baud modem, and the 300 baud modem answers, there's no way for the originating modem to know if it's a 300 baud modem or a 1200 or 2400 baud modem. Or is there? What would a Hayes Smart Modem 1200 do? Would it correctly, does it somehow know it's 300 baud? Do the really old 1200 baud modems, are they able to intelligently know when they're calling a 300 baud modem? And this modem just lacks that? I don't know. But anyway, here's where we can get around that. I'm just going to change the serial port speed to 300 baud. And we'll redial that number. There. Beautiful 300 baud handshake. Now, why am I getting trash on the screen? What's supposed to happen after this thing answers? Because right now I'm just getting garbage on the screen. And it just hung up. Let's try that again. A lot of hiss. A lot of hissing noise in the speaker on this thing. They're handshaking perfectly, but then it's just garbage after that. Let me put the Sportster on. Let me see if the Sportster does the same thing. Yeah, Cathode Ray Dude is actually what sort of inspired me to get really into modems. It was his videos, two videos. One was dialing up at home, and the other one was like why the Bell 103 modulation still exists 50 years, 60 years after its introduction. Alright, so I am hooking up the Sportster. I'm just going to see if this thing can dial into the NRC. No, I've never seen that show. Turn the thing on. AT. So just for kicks, I'm going to put the serial port speed back up. And I'm just going to see what the Sportster does. 613952 7729. Sportster still tried to connect at 12 or 2400. And we're just getting garbage, obviously. So I'm just going to hang up. And I'm going to switch back to 300 baud, and then I'll redial. Okay. Oh, okay. I can see data that's pulsing every second now. But is it supposed to say something? Because it's just garbage characters. Is it a weird, like, character format that it's using? Like, is it using some ancient thing that Bananacom can't comprehend? Well, let me hang up. And I will put the older Courier on here. Because if the older Courier can't talk to it, then nothing can talk to it. Oh yeah, could it be a teletype? Alistair, is this number for a TTY, not a modem? Because they're not compatible. TTY uses the same carrier frequency, which makes a modem think it's a modem, but they're not compatible. Good suggestion there, Andrew. If this doesn't work, I would say you're probably correct. Oh yeah, good idea. I can force the speaker to stay on. Yeah, it's just garbage. Let me do an escape sequence, and I'll go ATM2. There, and it just hung up. I would say that's a TTY. Yeah, it's FSK. Bell 103 is FSK, but so is TTY, indeed. They're both FSK, but it's different just a different format for the digital data. So I would say that's what's going on. Well, cool. So, oh, I just shut it off. Try a different number? Okay, let's try a different number. Just gotta wait for this thing to boot back up. So I've got the older Courier hooked up here, the V dot everything. 613-745-3900. There's just nothing happening on this one. There's no modulation. Oh, there we go. I hear modulation. And it hung up. Yeah, that's TTY. So, calling a TTY number with a modem makes the modem think it's talking to a 300 baud modem, but it's not. Alright, I think this is a good place to call it a stream here. So, it all started with this destroyed 56K modem, and we got it back together again, like Humpty Dumpty. Couple of broken pieces. She's looking pretty darn complete. It actually doesn't look like it was ever broken. It looks like it has some scratches and that's it. The circuit board is sliding around a little bit. But other than that, she's good. So tonight I'll have to fire up the North Star system and plug this on one extension and my V92 Sportster on the other extension and see if I can get them to talk to each other V92 style. See what speed of a connection I can get. Well, there! I mean, that pretty much completes all the modems I could ever want. I've got 2 Courier modems, a V dot everything 33.6K, and a V92. And I've got a V92 Sportster. There's only 2 other types of modems that I would like to get someday. I would like to get a Super FX modem, and I would like to get a Hayes Smart modem. But other than that, I don't need any more modems. I'm pretty happy. So, well, good. We accomplished something this evening. I'm pretty happy, and I got 3 serial modems now. So I can't imagine needing any more than that. So there you go. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. It was fun. Haven't streamed in a long time. Just been super preoccupied with my my girlfriend and all sorts of other projects going on. But yeah, this was fun, and I got a free modem out of it. That turns out to work, for better or for worse. So thanks so much, and I'll see you guys in a video to come. Bye.